A transversal is simply a line that intersects two or more lines. Now, we're going to be interested in, starting with lesson 11, with them being parallel lines. But right now, we're just saying we got two lines and a line that goes through them. So I'm going to take my colored pencil and I'm going to trace my line and say that line T is the transversal. Now, these are not transversals because at the picture, now obviously you could take them further out. What are formed? We're interested in these angles up here related to these angles down here. Now, vertical angles are still there. Linear pair are still there. Occasionally you see supplementary, well, that's going to be linear pair. Occasionally you use vertical and linear pair because you're not going to see complementary much. You'd have to have a right angle, and they're all adjacent pretty much. You know, these up here are adjacent, these are adjacent down here. So, corresponding angles. This is the same picture, but what they've done is, let me slide it over, is they've taken all the angles and numbered them. So again, if you want to trace your transversal, now what we're going to do is just kind of go through and name the sets of angles, and I'll try to give you some key words here. I guess we could have got a highlighter, but we can just do it with our colored pencil. Corresponding angles. Now, my definition of corresponding of anything is they match up. If something is corresponding, they match up with each other, and I think that's what they do. They say same position. So, when I look at these four right here, and I go down here, all four of these match up with these in terms of position. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Like angle 1 and angle 5. Let's see. I think we put commas between them the other day. Angle 1, angle 5. I think they've got blanks. There's 4 of them. Match up because they're both in the upper left-hand position. Do you see it? How they correspond? So what matches up with angle 2? Angle 2 matches up with which one? Angle, is that 6? Okay. 4, and I guess that's 8. Okay. And then 3 and 7. Okay, and they've got them in blanks, so they had 4 sets there. Now, alternate interior. Well, let's see how they say it. They are non-adjacent. I don't know that you would ever, that wouldn't be a word you'd think about. And on opposite sides of the transversal. I look at these, they would be on the inside, so it's only these, and they're going to be across from each other, across the transversal probably. So it's going to be angle, is that 4? And then what's this one, angle 6? Yes, if I look in my, I guess if I look in my camera, I can probably see it better. They're across from each other, and they're between the lines, and alternate interior. And then these two, and that looks like 3 and 5. Do alternate exterior. They're going to be outside, see, on the outside. It's going to be these are exterior angles, and they're alternate across. So it's going to be angle 1, and is this 7? And angle 2 and 8. And I'm going to tell you, the best to do when you do your classwork is just lay your classwork, lay this in front of you. Have this open when you're doing it. That's the best way to learn these. Consecutive interior. Now, I don't call them same side. Some textbooks do. I've never seen them call that. So consecutive just means one right after the other. That's the way I've always said consecutive. Consecutive integers are like 5, 6, 7. You know, not alternating, not even or odd. And then interior means they have to be inside. So instead of being across the transversal, they would be on the same side. So that looks like 4 and 5. Now, you can't go by their numbers in terms of being consecutive because 3 and 6, I guess that's right. That's a 3 and that's a 6, yes. And then consecutive means on the same side of the transversal, but outside. So what are those going to have to be? These two, which are 1 and, okay, did I mess up on one of these? No, that's 8, isn't it? Yeah, I keep wanting this to make that a 6. Okay, 8, and then the other ones are 2 and 7. And those are just, and you'll learn them. You'll learn them pretty easy. And what you'll do in your classwork is you'll tell me what they are. And I told them first on Friday you couldn't abbreviate, but I will tell you you can abbreviate. Just make sure I know what you mean. This one is just like this one. The only difference is they're turned sideways, and this one is your transversal. I think on the rest of lesson 9, you had to name the transversal on some of them. Like, what is the line that's going through them? Now, this one is a unique one because any of these can be transversals. So 3 is right here. And what is the other one I'm supposed to be doing? What's that? Is that not this one? Oh, it's this one. That's why y'all said alternate, because you knew what you were talking about. I do, but I just couldn't read them. Alternate exterior. And I will put angles on it. It's a good idea to do that. Okay, let's do 9 and 14, which is D. See, I can actually see it better away from it. So 9 is there, and 14 is right here. Okay, so 9 is here, and 14 is right here. Okay, so they are on the outside, but they're on the same side, so they're consecutive angles. Now, let's do, let's go down to H, because this is one a lot of people miss when they do it. Actually, I can see it better up there. That's what I'll be looking at. Angle 6 and 11. Now, there's a twist to this one, because I know 11, I'm going to circle it. There's 11 right there, and 6 is up here, isn't it? Now, a lot of people want to say alternate exterior, but here's the problem. They are not connected by a transversal. These are not related to these unless the lines were parallel. That's what's coming up. And these are not related to these. They have to be on the same line. There is no line connecting these two. So this one, whichever we said it was, it's H, isn't it? It's not possible. I just put none. I'm just going to put none. They're not any of those names. They do not match up at all. So there's a couple of those on here, and I think you'll probably see some in your classwork maybe. And then the other one I wanted to do was F. It's 2 and 10. And 2 is up here, and 10 is down here. So they are on that same transversal, see? You got to find a line that connects them, and what are they? Okay, they're in the same position. That's the one you want to look at, and that is corresponding.